Welcome back to another episode of Kicking Tables. Today, we are delighted to welcome Keith Dozois, who is the creator of an upcoming game called USB Escape. And I'm going to let Keith tell you all about it. But Keith, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. Big fan, and I'm happy to be on the show.
Well, fans, Tika, we have fans.
I
See that?
we have a
It's
fan. We have a fan. I
a
mean,
fan.
but
Excellent.
we'll take it. We'll take. Well, it starts with one. So there we
We'll,
go.
we'll take what we've got. But Keith, let's jump in. Tell us about USB Escape. What is it?
Absolutely. So, USB Escape is a unique take-home escape room experience that is comprised completely on a USB stick.
Okay.
We're launching season one of our Knott Family Chronicles, which is a escape room that is a horror-based escape room.
Okay.
It centers around our main character, Owen Knott, which deals with him selling his childhood home after his mother's passed away. It deals with themes of like loss and death and the role that trauma plays in the grieving process. So the actual game itself, which is on a USB stick, has 8 major puzzles, 13 hidden minor puzzles, and one meta puzzle, and over 2.5 hours of gameplay.
And so how does one play this game? It's on a USB stick, but what are you actually doing?
Absolutely. So if you have a laptop, you plug your USB into your PC or your Mac, and everything you need is just on there. So there are, obviously locked files that you need to unlock. And the way you go about that is you are investigating the mysterious occurrences that are happening throughout the game, throughout the story that's being told. So you're interacting with videos, you're interacting with audio files, you're interacting with pictures, and the story's told through emails that are being sent back and forth. So you get a real deep look into immersive experience that you get to play the investigator to, uncover all the things that you want to uncover.
Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds very cool.
So I'm really curious to know where you got your inspirations from for this. Like, do you do a lot of escape rooms yourself? Is it, do you just have like a sick, twisted mind that likes creating things like this? Where did this spark for you?
Sick Twisted is definitely a good place to start. You know what? I was definitely drawn to what you guys have put on here because I came into this hobby as a board gamer. So as opposed to a lot of people who play a lot of escape rooms, I've always done the exit games and those
Yes.
unlock games and Deckscape games. I'm sure you guys are aware of.
Absolutely.
Being a board gamer myself.
Yeah.
And what really inspired me was a lot of those old school. I'm throwing it back a couple of years, but the creepy pastas, those internet horror stories. I always really really enjoyed those type of stories.
Yeah.
And so what had happened is that I was like, I've gotta put this into a game, and the number one thing that you hear of when you find a random USB stick is don't put that in your computer. Like, don't. That is dumb. So I wanted to play off that idea of, you receiving something mysterious in the mail. We know not to put it in your computer, but if you have an investigative mind and you really need answers, it's a great place to start. So I wanted to play with a lot of those different elements.
That's awesome. Now, will people is it all done on the PC or Mac, or is there things you're going to have to print out? Like what, or is that a surprise? Or are you trying to keep things quiet?
There isn't anything you have to print out.
Okay.
There's nothing that you're going to need to do. There's nothing you must do
Okay.
outside of just your home computer, laptop, Mac, PC, whatever. I don't want to spoil too much.
Right.
There are some real world elements in this game as well.
Okay.
So if you want to take this to the highest level, to the nth degree, there are places you can go. It is not required. It won't alter your gameplay experience at all. But if you want to get the full experience, there are real world elements to it as well.
Nice. Like you've got a meta game going on by the sounds of it.
That's
That's,
true. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we'll keep that quiet. That's awesome. Have you designed this essentially for one person to just sit down and play, or do you see this as like, let's gather around the computer and do this together?
Absolutely. That's a wonderful question. Through a lot of my beta testing, I wanted to play with both of those. I can tell from experience, and this is not my game, this is pretty much all escape rooms. If you have a group, you have a group of ideas.
Right.
So it's always better to play in a group. However, the majority of my beta testers played it singularly, had no problem with it at all, got to enjoy the immersive experience. So you can play by yourself, or if you want to invite Tico to this as well, I won't judge you. So.
So you'd mentioned this is part of a series. Are you going to be able to purchase all of the games in the series at once? If like, so is this like a subscription, something that people can sign up for, or is it just you get one now and then when you're absolutely in love with it, and then they have to wait, for the next one to come out?
Yeah, so you make it sound so sad with the having to wait.
I'm not good at waiting. I want everything at once.
I will make sure you get advanced copies, that's for sure. But
right.
It will be a waiting game, unfortunately. So the way that the series works is it's going to be the primary character is the brother for the first one. The second one happens about 6 months later, and that's already in production.
Awesome.
And then the third one is going to act as a prequel. And if you have all three, you will be able to kind of see an overarching story over all three of them. If you just decide to pick one at the time, you'll still be able to have a great time. You'll still be able to do all the puzzles. You'll still be able to do everything that you want to do. You can take it or leave it there. I really, really wanted this to be a game that people can opt in for as much as they want. Which brings me to a really cool point with the puzzles is it's not a linear track where if you get stuck on one thing, you don't have to throw out the game and throw up your hands and go, this is game over. Even if you can't figure it out with the hints and all that other stuff too, you still can continue forward. You're just missing a piece of the whole created story. So you still can move forward. So if you're missing a piece, if you're missing an episode, or it's your first time playing, you can get into it as much as you need to.
Do you need to be online to play this? Like, do you have to log?
No,
Okay.
you do not need.
So you're not
there's
checking
no
your answers against a central website or anything like that?
Yeah, there's no app that you need to purchase or download. There's no extra things that you're going to need to have. If you want to, speed up a lot of the processes, we encourage looking stuff up online. A lot of the beta testers goes, I want to do this, but I'm not sure if I should be Googling this. And we're people of this world, Google is in our pockets.
Yeah,
Google
exactly.
is everywhere. So we encourage everybody to not cheat, but really look for their answers wherever they think those answers are. And I promise you're not going to be able to just Google the name of the puzzle and it'll show up. You'll have to do some actual logical reasoning yourself.
Okay.
Well, maybe a year from now you'll be able to do that, but not when you launch, because I'm sure people will put answers out there.
So can you give us, without spoiling anything, can you give us maybe a couple of ideas of some of the sample puzzles that you've included in this without actually spoiling the whole thing, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned a little bit earlier, there was I'm nice and foggy. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, a lot of my my inspiration for this has come from old school creepypasta and old school internet horror stories.
Mm-hmm.
So the second puzzle that you have, you're looking at a picture of a basement, and if you guys remember these old I Spies from when you were a kid, and there's just a ton of stuff around, and you're looking for something specific, you're looking for something in there, and you have to use a little bit of logical reasoning to kind of figure out not only what you're looking for, but how to order it properly. But there's a little surprise hidden in the background for anybody who looks just a little bit harder. So it does. The game in itself does a really good job of telling a great story first, and has good puzzles to back it up. So somebody who's just in it for the puzzles will have a great time. Somebody who is just in it for the story is going to have a great time. So you don't have to, and somebody who's in it for both will obviously have a great time. So
How is that story told? Is it through text, through video, through like everything? Like, and what guides the player through that story? How does that actually work when you plug it in? Is there just like load this first type thing?
yeah, absolutely. So you get your USB, you plug that one right into your computer, and you're greeted with a bunch of different files, and
Okay.
you start digging away.
All right.
I specifically asked one of my beta testers, I was like, just mix up the order and see if it makes sense. The stories are told through emails. So the nice thing about that is rather than once upon a time Johnny went down to the well kind of thing, it's it's up to you to decipher the meanings behind the emails, to connect the pieces, and everything is there to give you a concrete story. You're not going to have to make giant leaps of logic, but it doesn't read like a nighttime story,
Okay.
you know. So you get to actually experience this through the eyes of the character through their emails.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, so you're sort of an outside bystander who's happened upon these files, and you're going to piece together the story through what you're looking at. Is that kind of
Absolutely, yeah.
okay? Awesome. I'm curious your process for creating puzzles. What kind of process do you go through? I imagine it can't be easy creating and I've done some of these puzzles before. I love these kind of things. You know, like the monthly puzzles. People meet in a bar somewhere and they do monthly puzzles. I've done that, and I gotta wonder what's the process like when you sit down and create a puzzle. What kind of goes through your head as you're
Probably a
going
lot of
through it?
crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of crying. No, I come up with a lot of ideas by um, doing things wrong. That sounds counterintuitive, but what I'll do is I'll have an idea of how I want something to look. So as we talked a little bit earlier about the basement photo puzzle that I was
Yeah.
talking about, I said I really want one of these puzzles that has just a ton of stuff and has this really creepy, grungy vibe to it. How do I make a puzzle out of this? And I start working away at it, and I come up with a lot of wrong ideas. And I fill up. Here's my notepad full of ideas. Here, I'll show you. Here's all the spoilers. Just there you go. You got everything you need now.
Everything's done. I know it. Got it.
Yeah,
Locked
you
away.
got it. You got it. So it's a lot of just trying things out, making sure they work, testing it over and over again, because these puzzles not only have to be challenging enough that somebody who's been doing, escape rooms their entire life will still get challenged, but also for somebody who's never done one before can still grasp the logical jumps that need to have happen. So a lot of trial error, a lot of okay, but what if,
Right.
examples, and a lot of just really trying to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
So you'd mentioned you've got this series sort of planned out with the 3 sets. Are you planning like future sets and stories as well?
Absolutely. I'm gonna try to get these 3 out first. I mean, I really appreciate us thinking, after those 3 sets. I don't. You know what? How about this? After those 3 sets, I will be the first one on your show to tease you guys for the next
Awesome.
set of whatever we're going to be doing.
Awesome.
So
I that's great. That's great. Well, if you're
Yeah.
doing, and are these 3 sets all going to be horror based? Is that the idea
yes,
here?
they're all going to be horror based. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, then
they're all
I
they're
want
all
you.
within the same universe.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. I want the next one to be like sci-fi or something. I'm just throwing that out there.
Just a left field
Just
turn. It just
throw it.
we
Just
went from
yeah.
a horror based one to just now we have Klingons in space. So.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, now you're speaking to me personally. All right. Well, let's tell people where they can get.
USB Escape. Either obviously everybody wants to get their hands on this now. Where can they pick it up and when?
Uh, Absolutely. So you can pick this up November 26th. It'll be launched. It's going to be on usbescape.com. If you're feeling particularly patriotic, you can go to usbescape.ca.
Okay.
I also encourage everybody to check out our Instagram, usb.escape. So that's
Okay.
usb.escape. So you can try out some of the puzzles there, just kind of see how they work.
Nice.
And just get some promo stuff for there as well. We're also on Twitter, on TikTok, on Facebook. That's the other one I was missing. So you can check us out on all those things. But yeah,
And it's the end of this month. It'll be available. November
November
26th,
26th. Yep.
2020. Excellent. Keith, this sounds awesome. I can't wait to see
Yeah.
it. I love these kind of puzzles. I know Tico does as well, and Tico's a huge horror fan, so
I am.
it's right up his alley. But Keith, thank you so much for coming on the show to tell us more about USB Escape.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me here, and I can't wait to be on here when I'm teasing the next one.
The
Thank
Klingon
you.
one, absolutely.
The Klingon one, that's the one, right? Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Make sure that you check us out on usbescape.com, also on Instagram, usb.escape. Don't forget to like and subscribe below on OMG Nexus. We'll see you next time.